This is Hangul, the written alphabet of Korea. However, it wasn't always this. See, before Hangul existed, Koreans wrote using Chinese characters, known as Hanja. These characters worked well for China, where the spoken language matched the writing system more closely. However, for Korea, it was different. See, sometimes it was difficult to express the Korean language with these characters, as well as the fact that there was a huge amount of Chinese characters. This all made it become clear that another written alphabet was needed for Korea. And that's where King Sejong comes in. So King Sejong ruled during the Joseon dynasty in the early 1400s. He was known for his support and advancement of Korean science, astronomy, medicine, even agriculture. But it's his creation of Hangul that he is most remembered for. King Sejong, after realizing the problems that the Chinese characters had with Korean, he began thinking about a solution. His idea was simple: create letters that were so logical that anyone could learn them quickly. According to historical documents, he wanted someone with little education to become literate within days. He did this by first matching the writing system to how people actually spoke Korean. Take a look at each Korean consonant. The shape reflected how the tongue, teeth, or even throat moved when making that exact sound. For example, the sound in Korean represents someone's lips close together, which is how you would pronounce it. And so this meant that instead of memorizing thousands and thousands of Chinese symbols, Koreans only needed to understand a small set of characters that could be combined into words, making it much easier to learn, but also much more suited for the Korean language. Now you might think everyone celebrated this new alphabet, but they did not. See, many scholars actually strongly oppose Hangul, as the educated elite had spent years and years mastering Chinese characters and saw China, or the Middle Kingdom, as important and did not see a reason to get rid of it. And so when the king introduced this new system that anyone could learn, that felt a bit threatening. Some officials worried that if the common people could write freely, the Korean social order might change. And so, because of this dislike for Hangul, the elites continued to use Hanja in writing, and Hangul only saw some use among the commoners. However, eventually people started to realize its importance, especially during the 19th century as well as the 20th century when Korea was under Japanese rule. So first, there was the Kabo Reform, which was passed in the end of the 19th century, that stated that all official documents had to be written in Hangul. But then, once Korea was occupied by Japan in 1910, the Japanese began restricting and outright banning Hangul, but it was kept alive by the people. And then eventually, once Korea was fully liberated from Japan, did the government pass mass literacy policies which adopted Hangul as the official written alphabet. And it was then that Hangul finally saw mass adoption amongst the Korean population. And so what started as one king's vision for a literate population eventually became one of the most logical and praised writing systems in the entire world, allowing the nation of Korea to rise and become what it is today. Once again reminding us all the power of a simple alphabet. If you enjoyed this video, then leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.